top of my head, off the cuff, this week on Dave J. Tuesday.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Dave J from New York City. Songwriter, performer, storyteller, characters. It's Tuesday, March the 2nd, 2021. Welcome to March. Welcome to Dave J Tuesday. I'm delighted to have you here. Please do let us know who is here, where you are, what are you? What are you made of? Are you man or are you mouse? Are you even allowed to use that expression anymore? All of the above and more, let me know in the commenter section below, up there, over there, maybe it's that way. I don't know where your commenter section is. Where did you leave it? That's what my mother always used to ask me. Well, where did you leave it? Well, I'd say if I knew where I left it, then I'd know where it is. But you get my gist. Gist, word of the day.
Word of the day.
You know, Dave J Tuesday has been going on now since right after Labor Day 2020. We've been doing it every Tuesday night, and really since last April we've been live streaming quite a bit more than that. And so we're in flux. We're in development, as you can see if you've been following along, playing at home. And at home, I'm sure right now, is Beetle Mike, who has come in to say hello, saying to us all, hey, Dave J, Beetle Mike here. Yeah. I always love doing the arm, as you know if you tune in, as I was just saying. And then he says, and took a bath for your broadcast. I hope you don't mean financially. Times are tough financially for some. I should be more sensitive, I know. Let's go back to camera one. Okay, well, we're taking a different approach tonight because as we are ever trying to grow, trying to experiment. Beetle Mike, you smell great. Thank you for the bath. This is not smell-o-vision. I'm using my imagination. We all use our imagination here at Dave J Tuesday. That's part of the point. We want it to be entertaining. We want it to be fun. Yesterday on his live stream, my mentor and pal, Damo Keys, I'd asked him a question, and he, in his answer, paid me what I think is a huge compliment. In one moment you'll see I mean no pun intended. He said, you know, Dave J, you're larger than life. And I figure, yes, that's great, as long as I'm not a lifer at large. Okay, camera 3 to get over that joke. Whew, goodness, yeah, let's get back. Okay, that's great. Listen, I'm very excited because tonight is a little bit of a different approach. As I was saying, Damian Keys, we wish you and your wife Ella, if you're even watching, and I'm sure you're not, you're recovering. They had a little food issue. I don't even know if I should be getting into it here. It's not nice. I want to be nice. Marshall Zucker taught me that, my camp counselor. You know about Marshall if you've been watching. In any case, Damien, or Damo as he likes to be called, tells us in his community that we should be experimenting with the form until we know exactly where we want it to be. And although I have conceptually in mind where I want it to be, it still requires a little bit more stretching, a little bit more pushing and pulling. And so tonight, as noted in the beginning with the bumper that I shared with you, we're going to be going off the cuff. We're going to be going off the top of the head. We're going to be going off every which way but Sunday, as they say, because this is Tuesday, Dave J Tuesday, in fact. And with that in mind, I wanted to invite you to get involved. Not only by sharing in the commenter section below who you are, as Beetle Mike has, and what you're doing. In fact, he's taken a bath for the occasion, for example. You can now ask me anything, as if this wasn't a thing before. Perhaps you did feel you could ask me anything, but I never really extended the invitation. So technically speaking, you know, it was a nebulous area. Ooh, nebulous should be word of the day. But I digress, and we'll be doing a lot more of that tonight with the off-the-cuffedness as well. But first, let me invite you formally to ask me anything.
Ask me. want to know what? Okay.
Why, it's a little piece from a song by the Smiths that you may know. It's called Ask Me. I'll play a little bit of it for you. What are the words? I don't know. If you know the lyrics, let us know in the commenter section below. That's right. Shyness is nice, and shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you like to. So if there's something you like to try, if there's something you like to try, ask me, I won't say no, how could I? Ask me, ask me, ask me. Ask me, ask me, ask me. If it's not love, then it's the bomb, the bomb, the bomb, the bomb. The bomb, the bomb that'll keep us together. Gotta tune this sucker up. That's what happens when you go live, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I was trying to buy you some time while performing a song by the Smiths to have you ask me something, but don't worry, no matter. You have the entire show to ask me, you guessed it, ask me what you'd like. I'm going to make sure the guitar is in tune for the next time because, goodness gracious, we don't want that to happen again. Where is that intern? Okay, a few production notes, really more likely things I've been up to lately. I want to share with you what's been going on. I've been getting my taxes together. That got that ready for the accountant. We're very excited about that. That's always a to-do, you know? Yes, it's on the to-do list, but it's more than that. It's a to-do. It's like a to-do plus, if you will, because, oh goodness, I've got all the numbers in a spreadsheet, but then you got to go and you got to pull them and put them in one spreadsheet, and I should be doing it all year long, but for some reason I just don't. Well, good news, this year I've begun. I pulled January and February into that spreadsheet for this year, for next year, what have you. Okay, very good. This is boring technical stuff. Beetle Mike saying, you know what, you fired him from the last show. Oh, the intern, yes, you're right. And I meant to hire another one, but my to-do list has been way too long. And so with that in mind, I also will tell you that I reconvened with my old indie label, Mother West Records. Charles Newman, here's looking at you, kid. And we're working on a track to follow up the success, as we've told you, with our Spider-Man theme track that's killed it on Spotify and Apple Music and other places online in the digital world. We have over 2 million streams, for example, on Spotify with the Spider-Man theme, and we've been working very, very hard for you fine folks, with you fine folks. I'd like to say with. We're inclusive here at Dave J. Tuesday, to bring to you soon the Flintstones theme, all rocked up and ready to go. So stay tuned for that and many more fun things. And also, I recorded with my pal Danny Weinkoff, working on a bunch of my tunes. I played you recently, Keep It Movin'. We moved forward on that one. We also moved forward on Birth of a Modern Vaudevillian. Bit about my alter ego in that song. But while I'm waiting for you to ask me things, I want to tell you about another thing that I've been working on. I have many, many goals. Besides my website, I've had to retool my website. I've been hard at work on that, and I'll be sharing and taking you on a tour of my website in coming weeks as that's ready to launch. But also, I have in my computer here that you're sitting in as I speak, so to speak, the Logic Pro recording software. That is a recording software so that you could record music and audio and great stuff. And so I was always daunted, another great word of the day, I was daunted by the fact that I would get into Logic and I didn't know what was what, and I would just, things wouldn't work properly. So I started doing the tutorials. Mainly I made a commitment to use it. And finally, I learned how to use the basic drum machine in it, and also the synthesizers that are built into the program. And I wrote a very, very simple song, off the cuff, to stick with today's theme. And it's about what I would like to do, or more really readily what I wanted to do in the moment that I was working on that track, all focused in and not paying attention to my life and so forth. So I'll show you a picture of what the software looked like as I was working on it, and play you this very, very brief track that I just messed around with some synthesizers and a little vocal tomfoolery. Enjoy.
I would like to go to the bathroom. I would like to go to the bathroom now. I would like to go to the bathroom. Please excuse me.
You're excused.
You are excused. In fact, I hope you have a hall pass to prove that you've been excused, but that's your problem, not mine. Okay, well, all right. I hope you don't consider that song that I just shared with you scatological, because technically it didn't really get that blue. But I guess when you gotta go, you got. All right, never mind that. Now, what could be more off the cuff, I ask you, than blathering and digressing? You know, back a year ago, January through March, I was doing plenty of blathering and digressing. You kidding? I'd get outside, I'd be walking to my gig at one of the assisted living facilities, and I would get my selfie stick. Beetle Mike wants to know if it's number 1 or 2, and I haven't checked the Billboard charts yet, but I'm thinking positive. Let's go for number 1. Thank you. Am I overusing that effect? Maybe I am, but 3rd time's the charm, and I've used it 3 times. Hopefully, we won't need it again. Where was I? Okay, now I remember. I was beginning to talk about blathering and digressing. Well, I haven't done it in some time, and so I thought to myself today, you know, it's a beautiful, sunny, 30-degree day out in New York City, and what better time would it be than to just try to get the cobwebs off and get back out and do a blather and digress? For example, it would fit into today's themes, off the cuff and off the top of the head, and that's what blathering and digressing is all about. And thanks for enjoying that joke, Beetle Mike. You're a good man, and a good fan, and a great friend, more importantly than all of that. So, without further ado, I'd like to share with you now a very, very rough cut of a little blathering and digressing I did today on my way to Central Park. Check it out.
Blather and digress with Dave J. in my The Nothing Special mask provided by Barry the K, and my Do Good hat provided by my mom and dad. It was a gift as a donation to my niece Emily's cause. She sells one beanie and she gives one over to the homeless people over there, and I think that's wonderful. Oh my, it's been almost a full year since I've done one of these blather and digress videos, and I figured let me try it again, you know? Now, for my first time out blathering and digressing, I figured why not just take my old route that I used to take when I would walk to the assisted living facilities to perform. Oh, look at that, there's a big bell over there. I wonder if it's of the taco variety. So, what's going on with you? Boy, I hope this is substantive. Hey, look at this lean-to. It's a dining lean-to. It's very common now in New York City. The dining lean-to is. It's fun to say that. Would you say it with me? Dining lean-to.
Dining lean-to.
Oh, yeah, I'm chewing some gum, by the way. Did I bring enough for everybody? Sorry. When one blathers and digresses, there's no telling what will come next. I'm from the other side of the tracks. Dun, dun, dun. We're heading to Central Park. Hello, mailman. Mailman, bring me no more blues. Thanks for your service, right? I know he's not military, but they do have a general. Postmaster General. Is he a Postmaster 5-star General? Do you know? You never know what's going to happen in New York City. Using this camera, I can see what's behind me. Anybody sneaking up. I was raised paranoid. I'm always like this. I'm always looking for trouble, and I usually find it. Oh, I don't have the light, and there's a crossing guard. How are you today? So you make nice with the crossing guard, and then they don't fine you. I was going to ask her if she's able to fine me, but I didn't want to open that can of worms. No worms here. My mom used to say that if you eat all the chocolate sprinkles that you put on ice cream straight out of the sprinkle container, that it'll give you worms. I was always afraid of that, but then I thought, what if I were a fisherman, and I needed the bait? Hey, early bird gets the worms. Do the early birds eat sprinkles? Oh, excuse me, I just ate lunch. I'm a little full. Barry the K, who gave me the mask, used to do a thing where after we'd eat, kind of belch. He'd be like, and he'd blow it out in a very comical manner that I can't stop doing to this day because of you, Barry the K. And at many a business meeting, I have lost the deal because of that. Just want you to know. I'm not blaming you, but I'm partially blaming you. Yes, lovely. It's the East Lawn, I think maybe it's called the Great Grass. I know I'm rubbing it in with the gum, right? I didn't have enough for everybody. I don't want to get hit by this van. He may be delivering cake. God forbid you should forestall cake delivery. Well, in any case, this was a good first outing, and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more blathering and digressing to come. Blather and digress. I'm Dave J. I'm Dave J. Back to you, Dave J.
Okay, thank you, Dave J. I'll take it from here. I'm Dave J. You're not Dave. Who do you think? You think you're Dave J? Wait a second. Who do you think you are? Hey, Adam Slavitt. I'm Dave J. Don't believe that other fella. I don't know what he's going on about. Hey, Adam Slavitt says Beetle Mike, and I'm Bright. And he says, hey, bud. And I love saying it that way. I hope my interpretation is correct. As an actor, you just interpret the dialogue, and you go for broke. Mailman, bring me no more blues. Mailman, bring me no more blues. One blue letter is all I can use. She wrote me only one sad line. She told me she's no longer mine. Mr. Mailman, that'll do for some time. All right, Mr. Mailman, you go back and report to that 3-star corporal or whatever. Do they have corporals? I mean, you think about it, they've got the general, postmaster general. Do they have the whole system in there? Do we have any military people here who would know? My dad was in the Navy. I know he's watching. He'll have something to say about it later. But he may not know the postal military breakdown. I'd like to go in there in the post office when we're allowed to again. Are we allowed to even go into the post office? What with their precautions? Maybe if I'm wearing a mask. Well, no matter. I have to know now. Is there, for example, a lance corporal of the post office? That would be a job I think I might like. Maybe I should go take that test. All right. Enough blathering and digressing live. What else have we got in the comments section? Anybody? Bueller? Let's see, is Bueller here? Beetle Mike liked that. Are you referring to the blather and digress section? Well, don't worry, because there's plenty of more blathering and digressing to go. Because I was thinking about it, and I thought, what other kind of blather and digress, off the cuff, off the top of the head, more specifically, items could we produce for tonight's episode? And one idea that I had was something that I've sort of mentioned before, but again, I'd like to formalize it here tonight. And the idea is, if each of you would give me a word, I'll write the word down, and then I figured I'd take each word and I'd throw it in a hat or something, throw it in a cup, a bowl, what have you, some sort of receptacle. Receptacle has to be a word of the day.
Word of the day.
I can't get enough of the words of the day. You know that about me. You'll forgive. Okay, fantastic. Well, I figure I'll take one of those words, or maybe all of those words. If there are a lot of you in the room, then I'll take all the words and string them together into one song with the guitar, or I'll take one word, use it as a title. It doesn't really matter. The point is, you just give me one word each, to limit yourself there. Otherwise, some people go crazy. If they're as verbose as I am, forget it. They'll have a gazillion words before you know it. And so here is your official invitation to provide for me, from now on, one word.
One word.
2 words?
No! One word.
Oh, okay. You don't have to shout.
Okay, now, I'll be monitoring the commenter section below for the word or words as you all throw them one words together there in there, and we'll see what happens. And I've already got a word called pumpkin from Beetle Mike. Now, we're going to hold off for a bit and see if anyone else provides words, because we don't know yet what this is going to be, this bit. But we're going to wait and see, because I have another thing to tell you about. We're going to go back in the Wayback Machine to the year was 2012, and I was doing what I might call pre-blathering and digressing in a foreign land that I've been thinking about lately, because why? They're in the news. Why are they in the news? Because vaccines aplenty are happening around the globe, and as such, Israel is leading the pack. We know Israel's impressive. We all love Israel. For God's sakes, they're wonderful, and they've got a green passport. And if you've got your vaccine for the crapdemic, well then you get your green passport, you get your stamp or whatever they do, or maybe they punch the hole in it. Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments section below. Whatever it is, you have your green passport. I don't know, is it green because of AOC? Somehow I doubt it. The green new passport? Who knows? But in any case, Israel is such a lovely place. I've been there twice, and it reminded me of the trip I last took there with my family back in 2012. And while there, off on my own many times as I was with my old cheap video camera, I came up with pre-blather and digress little episodes. They're very rudimentary. Rudimentary is such a good word of the day. But, well, here are several examples of me being off, as tonight's episode suggests, but in Israel. Can't get enough of that tune. You know, I think Dick Clark featured it on American Bandstand. I could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments section below. Do we have any other words? Just pumpkin? Are you serious? Just pumpkin from Beetle Mike? Adam Slavitt, I implore you, implore should be another word of the day, but no. We're going to give you the opportunity, Mr. Adam Slavitt, to provide a word. Mom and Dad, come up with a word, throw it in the comments section below. I don't care what the word is. Here's a little tip. Look around the room. I know the room my mom and dad are sitting in, most likely to watch on my dad's computer. They're books. That's a perfect opportunity. Take one of the books off the shelf, point randomly to a word. That's how George Harrison wrote "While My Guitar Gently Weeps." I look at you all. That song. Anyway, we're going to get to Israel now, because that's what we've got to do. For example, when I say the word scarecrow, speaking of words, you think of Ray Bolger, no doubt. But in Israel, as I learned on my cousin's kibbutz, where it's very agriculturally driven, scarecrow means an entirely different thing, as you will now learn.
This is Dave J., your intrepid reporter, reporting from Israel to show you an Israeli scarecrow. They kill a crow and stick him on a stick, and the other crows see it, and they're scared of what might happen to them. A real dead crow.
I would like to take a moment of silence for that crow. Ha! Ha! I just can't keep silence going. You know me. I just can't do it. I can't shut up for a minute. But hey, that's what blathering and digressing is all about. Now, I see Sean Hanshaw's here, and he says, "Hey now, Hank Kingsley." I'm sure he means, right? From the Larry Sanders Show, the late great Gary Shandling. Maybe we should take a moment for him. More than the crow. Huh, the crow? That's just a bunch of crow. Oh, I hurt my comedy spleen on that one. Oh, hush, hush, says Alan Gerstein. He's got some words. Hush, hush. I like that. Those are good words. Words I wouldn't think of are good words. I wouldn't think of hushing, because I can't shut up for a minute, as I suggested. Because with that in mind, there's many more things to get to from Israel, where I'm totally off my head on that trip in 2012. For example, you go to a candy store here in the United States, you expect a certain type of thing. But in Israel, ho, watch out.
It's me, Dave J., your intrepid reporter, reporting from Israel
Here at the candy shop. Let's see what we have here. All sorts of good sweets. What's this? Hey, look at that. That's Bazooka Joe in a box. That's a little weird. Okay, moving right along. We've got candy, we've got gum, we've got candy. Ooh, look at all these candies. And then... my kind of candy.
His, rather mine from back then kind of candy. Are you kidding? Who knew that candy stores in Israel would be so, shall we say, mature? Not Victor Mature. That's a whole other thing. That's an actor from some way back time that we are not talking about tonight, because we're on to the blathering and digressing. We're on to the off-the-cuffageness, and we've got that. And Beetle Mike is greeting my dad, which is nice, and he's greeting Sean Hanshaw. Mr. Hanshaw, how are you tonight? Hope you're doing well. I like Sean Hanshaw, and yet I don't know whether we've even had a conversation in person ever. I don't think we have, and if we have, please forgive me for that last comment, but I would like to have a conversation with you. I know we've had a written conversation, which has been enthralling to me, and I appreciated it. Well, nonetheless, let's continue on, because I was still in Israel in 2012, and, it wasn't all shtick with the dead scarecrows and the candy store tomfoolery. It was also deep art. After all, I'm an artist, and I can appreciate art. Did you know, in fact, that there's a very, very famous artist in Israel sharing my namesake? I'm not even making this up. This is true. Tom Schiller, the first writer ever hired for the original Saturday Night Lives, and we would do tons of shtick when I was on my internship on Saturday Night Live, and then afterwards we remained friends, and whenever we would do tons of shtick, we had a little comedy safe word, and it was honest. And if we were doing shtick, but we were serious then, suddenly on a point, we'd say, honest. And when you'd say honest, you'd go, oh my God, he really means this, And so honest will tell you, there is a very famous Israeli artist named David Gerstein. Is he named Dave J. Gerstein? No. He lost out on that one. I don't know what his middle name is. Could be Schmendrick for all I know. Sorry, David Gerstein. I mean nothing against my namesake. I just had to use the word Schmendrick, which should have been the word of the day, but we do not have time to go back now. We've got to continue on with Tel Aviv street art. That is artwork I witnessed personally and with my camera in the wonderful city, and I mean that, honest, the wonderful city of Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv street art on the walls of Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv street art. Artists there wear it on their sleeve. I still believe in art from Tel Aviv. So much that I don't ever want to leave.
All right, there's a little look at Tel Aviv street art. What else have we got? Oh, I learned plenty of things. It's not just art there. It's not just shtick there. It's also education. For example, they have different customs, different laws, different street signs. In fact, I learned about this street sign. It's my favorite street sign in all of Israel.
It is I, your intrepid reporter, Dave J. from Israel, where they have these great signs for high-fiving, like so. Check it out. Hey!
Who knew that that one would end so quickly? All right, you know what? Let's break it up a little bit with a little bit of a tune. How about that? What shall I play for you? Maybe I should do the one-word tune. Or maybe I should play something, that I've already written, but I haven't played in a while. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. So now, true to the form for tonight's program, I'm going to go off the cuff. One thing I know is I'd like to play something that I wrote for you. So, I guess I'll play one that my mom liked. I shared it recently. I told you I've been recording it with Danny Weinkoff. Let's play Keep It Movin' for you. Once again, after all, I'm high on this tune. Direction. What's done is done, so keep it moving on. Ba 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 ba. Horns. Ba 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 ba. Climb clouds. Pen on paper. Connect to your next caper. Shred shrouds. Take an acre. 1% per day and you'll endure. Keep it moving on. I'm unstoppable, cause I never stop at all. What is just is so keep it moving on. Ba, 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 ba. My rearview reflection is a window, the front looking through. Smoothed over an unpaved pass to only facing forward. Skyline virtue, keep it moving. Ba 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 na na, ba 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 na na. What's the next verse? Oh, I remember. Don't worry at home, I've got this. Uphill. You know what? Let's get intimate with camera 2. Uphill, upheaval. Take the leap like you're Knievel. Freedom for the people. Keep it moving, thread the needle. Back to camera 1. I'm the only guy here. I'm the only one working all this. You'll forgive me. Keep it moving on. Keep it moving in the right direction. What's done is done, so keep it moving on. Ba, ba, ba. Keep it moving on in the right direction. What's done is done, so keep it moving on. The little customary wink at the end to give you the know-how that the song has completed. I don't know if there are other ways, perhaps a bow or a curtsy would be in order. I don't curtsy. You know, we still got some little bit more here about Israel that I can share with you, or we can go on to other things. I think I'd like to give you another Israel thing. For example, speaking of the song I just wrote, while in Israel, check this out. I said to myself, goodness gracious, I'm going out of my mind without a guitar. I took 25 shekels, that's dollars in Israeli, and I said, I'm going to go buy some guitar. Somehow, I don't even know how the hell I found it. I may have gone on Israeli Craigslist. I don't recall. It was so long ago. But I found somehow, my family was like, you're going to go meet who? What? You're going to go do what? In Israel, a foreign land, you're going to do what? I went and I bought a cheap, crappy $25 knock-around guitar. So crappy, in fact, I was like, I'll just leave it here when I'm done with my cousins who are on the aforementioned kibbutz Revadim. You got to say it with the r in your voice. And I bought this cheap guitar. And one day, after all the touring with my family before my nephew Matthew's bar mitzvah, which is why we were in Israel. Did I mention that? I don't recall. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Beetle Mike. I'm glad you thought that was a good song. I kind of think so. It's one of my faves currently in the rotation. I've written thousands of songs. You probably know that because I've mentioned it thousands of times. But in any case, speaking of writing songs, while in Israel, I took a day off from the touring with the family. They were going to my sister-in-law's cousins and so forth. So I said, you know what? I don't need to do that because I don't know them. So anyway, probably an immature manner of thinking. You'll forgive me, in-laws of my brother. But you know, maybe you won't. Have you forgiven me yet? Oh wait, I'm not supposed to get into personal family matters here. Oh goodness, I got to do it the fourth time. Whew. That thing saves me more than you know. Okay, seriously though, folks, let's get into this song that I wrote in Israel with the cheap, crappy $25 or shekel guitar. It's a song I wrote called Brick Boat. I wrote it there in Tel Aviv, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a hotel my mom deemed shithole one of the 2 shithole hotels that we stayed in. And it's a song called Brick Boat. The version I'm about to play you is one that when I came back to the States, I went to my friend Brandon Wild's recording studio, Studio 76 he calls it, and we recorded this song. We put a little fun character voices in it and stuff, and he sings beautiful harmonies on the background vocals of the ahs and oohs or whatever they are. And at home here, I made a little cheap, little crappy video way back in the day, probably 2012, and it's here for your bemusement.
Life sailing by on a brick boat. That's what I wrote in a silly note. Brings to mind, and I quote, a brick boat keeping afloat. For all of the times I sailed away from you, I know that I'm setting course anew. Brick boat rolling on a paisley moon, swimming in foamy dune. Brick boat counting down 1, 2, 3. Upon one vagabond knee. I got a wall built up brick by brick, calling you all. I'm gonna thrill you to the quick. Life sailing by on a brick boat, stuck in my throat with no antidote. I'm sailing away on a brick boat stuck in the moat. Life sailing by on a brick boat keeping afloat.
You know, I forgot all about that song, and I kind of like it. You know what I wasn't so crazy about at first? In Israel, unlike the United States, and especially New York City, I ran into a sort of foul, if you will. That's the word for it. You'll know what I mean in a moment, because this segment's called The Israeli Peacock. NBC, no.
This is Dave J., your intrepid reporter, reporting live from Israel. Live now, not live when you're watching it. On a kibbutz that we've been staying at. And check out a peacock that's right over there. These things don't attack on sight, do they?
Ha ha! But hey, what you doing? What?
Hey, stop shaking your ass at me. I think it was once a dinosaur. These remind me of the things in Jurassic Park that like spit the venom.
Venom spitting averted.
There's where the pool is.
And a lovely dip the whole family took in the pool. No, it's not even true. I found the pool, but we never used it. Did we, Mom and Dad? I don't believe we did. Cousin Herb is here. Cousin Herb wouldn't know, but you know, it doesn't matter. Just say whether we use the pool. Why not? Just get involved. It doesn't matter. We can make up things. That's the other thing. Make believe is permitted here at Dave J. Tuesday. Hi, Cousin Tanya and Cousin Herb, out in San Francisco way, right? I'm in New York, you're in San Francisco. We've got the coasts covered, the two, you know, relatively coolest cities. Of course, there are other cool cities. Beetle Mike's in a cool city. What city are you in again? It's not Knoxville. You're 20 minutes out of Knoxville. I know I'm getting warm. As they say, you're getting warm, Dave J. All right, now I'm just coasting on the nonsense. Okay, well, we're going to have to bring the show in for a landing very shortly, but not before addressing what I mentioned earlier is the word, the one word you can mention. And two of you mentioned one word. Why, Beetle Mike immediately chimed in with the word pumpkin. And then my parents chimed in. Oh, Beetle Mike's in Maryville, Tennessee. And I knew that, but I forgot because, you know, I'm a certain man of a certain age now, you know, and you'll forgive. I'm always like, where's my guitar pick? Wait, I can't see over this thing. Where's my guitar pick? I'm a man of a certain age. Okay. So the two words I got there, I love how Beetle Mike greets everyone who comes into the room. I love that. So let's take the words we've been given. Cousin Herb, Cousin Tanya, if you'd like to add a word, we did this thing. It's called the one word thing, I guess, feature, where you can give one word and we'll take all the words and we'll turn them into something, maybe a song. Here's the bumper again.
One word.
2 words?
No! One word.
Oh, okay. You don't have to shout.
You gotta love it. I worked hard on that bumper. That's why I played it again. You gotta get your money's worth here at Dave J. Tuesday. Any words? If not, I'm gonna continue on. Hush, hush, pumpkin. Before you become mush, I'm your bumpkin. Oh, hush, hush, pumpkin. You know, don't you cry. Don't you cry. Hush, hush, pumpkin. Hush, hush, pumpkin. I've got a nice holla in the back for you. I've got a holla in the back for you. Got a holla in the back for you. Just holla and I'll give you my holla in the back for you. Hush, hush, pumpkin. Hush, hush, pumpkin. Hush, hush, pumpkin. I've got a holla in the back for you. All right, we did a one-word segment, and it actually had 3 words in it, and it worked out just fine, didn't it? Well, I'm pleased. Goodness gracious, I've had such a blast bringing you this week's installment of Dave J. Tuesday. One wonders what next week's installment will bring. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Oh, I've got a headache. But don't worry about that. We've got some Tylenol in the back, along with the challah, and we will find a way to bring you some sort of Dave J. Tuesday, whether it's off the cuff or otherwise. But till then, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. This is a work in progress. We're going to make this into a thing. We are a tribe. It's thanks to you. You're the ones making this possible. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here with the proverbial version of this thumb thing that they call twiddling. It's another great word of the day. We just don't have time to get to the bumper for it. But there are many great words of the day. You know, maybe what we should do is we cull all the words as we go along, and with the new intern I end up hiring, we don't know who that will be yet. If any of you are interested, please do apply in triplicate at the desk, and we will see to it that we get someone to pull all the words together, and then we'll either make it all one big jumbly word of the day, or who the hell knows. I'm just blathering and digressing because that's what I do. And until next week when I blather and digress further, I want to thank you all again. I'm Dave J. This is Dave J Tuesday, and this is the closing credits segment. Good night.